Hello, everybody! It's great to see you again. I'm Nixnoctis. Now, every gamer loves MMO games nowadays. And today, we bring you the best MMORPG games that you can play in 2021. For those who are new, MMO means Massive Multiplayer Online. Some of these are all-time classics, and some are upcoming, going to release in the next few months. And without wasting any more time, let's dive into the list. The first game we have today is Tera. Tera has typical MMORPG features such as questing, crafting, and player versus player action. The game's combat uses a real-time battle system that incorporates third-person camera view. The player targets an enemy with a crosshair cursor rather than clicking and tabbing an individual opponent. Players need to actively dodge enemy attacks. Players can choose their character from one of 7 races, allied with the Valkyrian Federation. Each race has a set of unique racial skills that gives them minor advantages. Skills can be learned either automatically at certain levels or bought at tactics or magic instructors. The game allows players to chain skills together for optimum results. Races also have their own unique animations for class-specific skills. Tera has 13 classes, each with their own unique abilities and attributes. It sounds really fun to me, at least. Maybe you should give it a try. So next on our list is Neverwinter. Neverwinter is a free-to-play MMORPG. The setting of Neverwinter takes place in a time when the eponymous city is plunged into chaos after the disappearance of the last Lord of Neverwinter. In-game, players can choose one of 8 Dungeons & Dragons character classes and form groups of up to 5 player characters. The game is originally based on a modified version of the Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition rule set. The game features the use of healing powers and action points, the latter of which is implemented through a system referred to as dailies, allowing a player to perform a special ability by accumulating enough action points through combat. There is also a player-created content system known as the Foundry that allows players to create their own stories and quests. The next game we have for you is The Elder Scrolls Online. The game is set in the continent of Tamriel and features a storyline indirectly connected with the other games in the Elder Scrolls franchise. Players can choose their character from 10 different races and 6 classes. The game has other character choices beyond those of race and class, such as the character also being able to become either a vampire or a werewolf, each of which grants its own skill tree. The core gameplay is mostly non-linear, with a mixture of quests, random events, and free-roaming exploration of the world. Each class gives the player various different attacks, spells, and passive effects. It has a really massive and loyal community backing it up. And this one is one of my personal favorites, so hey, maybe you'll see me running around. Coming up next, we have Star Wars: The Old Republic. The game takes place in the Star Wars universe shortly after the establishment of a tenuous peace between the re-emergent Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic. The game features 8 different classes to choose from. Each of these 8 classes has a 3-act storyline that progresses as the character levels up. Players can either join the Republic or the Sith, but players may possess a morality at any point along the light-dark spectrum. Different classes favor different styles of gameplay, and the game features extensive customization options, fully voiced dialogue, companion characters, and dialogue options similar to BioWare's other role-playing games. The next game we have is Albion Online. The gameplay centers itself around a classless system, in which equipment a player chooses to wear defines their abilities and the way they can play. Players can go out and do activities in Albion's world in order to gain fame, which is the same as experienced in other similar MMORPGs. Through this fame, players can get access to other weapon and armor types. All items and buildings are crafted by players, and players can even create their own farms as well. Death is kind of a big deal in Albion Online, and it means players can have all their items looted upon death. The game also has multi-platform support across Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, and Android clients. Overall, a very solid MMORPG game. The next game on the list, and one you've probably heard of, Runescape. Runescape is a fantasy, massively multiplayer online RPG set in a medieval fantasy realm called Gielinor that is divided into different kingdoms. Players can travel throughout Gielinor via a number of methods including on foot, magical spells, or charter ships. Each region offers different types of monsters, resources, and quests to challenge players. RuneScape does not follow a linear storyline. Rather, players set their own goals and objectives. Players can choose to fight monsters, complete quests, or increase their experience in the available skills. Players interact with each other through trading, chatting, or by participating in minigames and activities, some of which are competitive or combative in nature, while others require cooperative or collaborative play. Following behind that oldie is Black Desert Online. Black Desert Online is a sandbox-oriented fantasy MMORPG. The game offers housing, fishing, farming, and trading, as well as large player-versus-player siege events and castle battles. It is well regarded for its advanced and in-depth character customization. The game has an active combat system that requires precise manual aiming, dodging, and using combos, unlike the tab targeting system seen in most MMORPGs. Skills can be activated through the use of combos for attacking, dodging, or blocking. Players are also able to engage in mounted combat. Mounts are acquired by taming in the wild, and players are able to breed special mounts by mating certain types. Mounts require feeding and care, cannot be stored in the inventory, but also cannot be killed. To summarize, it's a very detailed online RPG title. Getting towards the end of the list, we have Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. Whew, boy, that's a title. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis is a free-to-play online action RPG featuring gameplay elements and aesthetics reminiscent of previous Phantasy Star games while incorporating unique twist on the formula. The player can select one of several servers known as ships to play. There are 9 character classes, each with unique stat spreads and weapon specialties. Players can create and customize their characters to be used in the game. During gameplay, you can also acquire a number of accessories and aesthetic goods to further customize your character. In combat, players engage enemies in real time with various attacks that can be chained for additional damage. Sounds like a pretty good game, doesn't it? You should play it. Next we have Final Fantasy XIV Online. This game is set in the fantasy realm of Orzia, where players can customize their avatar from 5 different races, as they explore the land and are caught up in both an invasion by the hostile Garlean Empire and the threat of the Primals. The chosen tribe, along with their chosen patron deity, affects their stats and their elemental attributes. The game's opening varies depending on which starting location is chosen. 2 different types of quests are available for players. Story quests, which are unlocked as characters gain experience points and raise their level while unlocking new abilities, and levy quests, aka side quests, accessed through the Adventurers Guilds. Compared to Final Fantasy XI, where party-based gameplay is forefront at all times, the gameplay in this game is adjusted so that players can go for longer periods without joining a party. And our final game today is New World. New World is an upcoming MMORPG from Amazon Game Studios, where the players can form groups of up to 5 members, join one of 3 factions, utilize node resources, craft items, gain control over settlements, do quests, explore the sandbox, fight other players, and monsters. The gameplay involves no auto-lock targeting attacks, and therefore a steady-handed aiming is required. With each level, the hostile mobs are programmed with ever-increasing complexity and strength sequences of attacking behavior skill sets that will require the player to counter using their mana, stamina, and health, with timed attacks, dodges, weapon blocks, retreats, or crawling stealth. The player's character also levels up weapon and trade skills. The gameplay is unique in that no jumping exists. Instead, the player may dodge or climb most environmental objects, or use the life staff to cross large aerial spaces. It really is something we can look forward to. And that wraps up our list. Just get any of these games and you're likely to have a ton of fun. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to see more of us in the future. Bye-bye!